So, I like to do a long video about a YouTube drama, and then I like to follow it up with a shorter video that has almost nothing to do with drama. Cause if you talk about drama all the time, you're gonna go crazy after a while.
No shit.
So let's talk about why there's so much wokeness in movies and TV shows nowadays. Now, there's nothing wrong with being progressive and adding in LGBT people of color into your shows. But there's a right and wrong way to do it. And you can't always use it as a crutch to get away from criticism. You can't just say, yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like Transformers 2, but one of the characters was trans.
My name is Optimus.
It was a transformer. They were a transformer. Therefore, the only people who didn't like this movie are white supremacists. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen plenty of videos on High Guardian Spies. I missed a bandwagon, but that has never stopped me from jumping on it late after it stopped moving. And full disclaimer, I actually haven't seen it because I don't have a Crunchyroll account. But this is not an in-depth analysis of High Guardian Spies. If you want an in-depth analysis, go watch Just Stop's or Manga Common's video about it. I'm not going to talk about how terrible the plot is or how terrible the animation is. Actually, no wait, I am. If this is supposed to be such a woke progressive show, then why does it have such terrible writing, terrible characters, and terrible animation? Like if I had a restaurant with 3 bathrooms, one for men, one for women, and one for trans people, but in the trans bathroom, if I put the sink sideways, the toilet is hanging down from the roof, and the door doesn't have any doorknobs, I can't just say to people, you can't insult my restaurant, it's progressive, I have an only trans bathroom in it. Are these shows really trying to give a voice to marginalized groups? Or do you think they're just trying to get some brownie points so people clap for them and say, stunning and brave? And if anyone doesn't like their show, they can just call them racist, sexist, and transphobic.
What a fucking stop!
Speaking of sexism, one of the writers was a well-known misandrist. And yes, sexism does go both ways. But it's prejudice plus penis! There is this one character who is trans and, you know, instead of letting the audience piece it together themselves through pretty obvious evidence, the character just comes right out and says,
You are a girl?
I'm transgender.
I don't know that word.
Ha! Got him!
And apparently they also have to take a potion either every day or every week or whatever, or they'll start looking like a woman again. You know there's transformation magic in this world, right? You don't have to make it a one-to-one comparison to the real world. Like, I'm not trans, but I don't think trans people would be up in arms if they didn't put this part in. Now, I could go on and on about High Guardian Spice, but I'm sure you guys know all the problems with it already. So let's move on to the new Seth Rogen show, Santa Inc., which has clay animation characters that swear.
Come on, guys! It's Christmas fucking Eve! There's no time for amateur hour here!
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Clay animation characters don't normally swear. Wow, taking something childish and making it vulgar? Why, I've never heard of such a thing. This would be absolutely hilarious 15 years ago. I just feel like Seth Rogen is one of those guys who can't get over the fact that he's old now. I mean, for the love of God, the guy thinks smoking weed is still cool. But of course, anyone who doesn't like Santa Inc. are snow supremacist. Why? 'Cause he's fucking Jewish. Even though in the trailer for Santa Inc. there's a reindeer who's clearly a stereotypical black woman.
Yes, bitch, because it's empowering to call you bitch, 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 bitch.
Yeah, white supremacists are well known for not liking black stereotypes. Several thousand people liked his tweet, by the way. Now, do I think Seth Rogen actually thinks this way? Hopefully not, but it certainly doesn't make him any less childish, and now he's on my naughty list. I mean, making all the elves Jewish and all the reindeers black just seems a lot more like a white supremacist talking point than, you know, not liking Santa Inc. There's even a line where a character seriously says, "You rejecting me to reclaim your sexual empowerment is so hot." Like, did the writers on High Guardian Spice work on this show too? There's so much misandry in this. One of the jokes is that there's a gay elf in a relationship with a gay snow angel. What's the joke? They're gay. What does the word progressive even mean anymore? Do I have to take progressive tips from people like Sarah Silverman, a woman who dressed up as Hitler and did blackface? I think my favorite scene in this show is when the Jewish elf girl is driving while texting and accidentally hits a reindeer with her car. She calls him a caribou, which is established as the N-word for deer in this mythos, and just leaves him in the snow to die. How can something trying to be progressive be so unprogressive at the same time? Like, if I just wanted to pitch my own woke progressive show, do I just have to say, women are beautiful and brave, men are sexist pigs, and women should explore their sexuality? By the way, isn't being gay so fucking hilarious? I'm gonna go lynch a black guy now. Also, capitalism is the worst thing ever. Now excuse me while I ride in my limo to my mansion. But at least the show's animation is really good, which is something it has over High Guardian Spice. Now, I can't believe we're at a point in society where I have to say this unironically. Adam Sandler is funnier than Seth Rogen. I would actually rather watch the entire Hanukkah animated Adam Sandler movie than a single episode of Santa Inc. Do you think maybe all these horrible shows that are coming out is the reason why YouTube had to get rid of the dislike button? Cause if you could actually see the dislikes, there are hundreds of thousands of them and only a few thousand likes. And the comments are also disabled, which is always a great sign. Anyways, let's move on. There's already plenty of reviews of Santa Inc. Now let's move on to something there's also plenty of reviews of. Masters of the Universe Season 2. I saw the trailer for this, and it actually looked pretty good, with He-Man showing up again, and he was fighting Skeletor. But I wasn't gonna be fooled a second time, so I kept my expectations at absolute zero. And I was still disappointed. I already talked about Masters of the Universe a little bit in my Mary Sue videos, and also my video on Amber with Miss Anthropony and my roommate. So if you want to know how I feel about Season 1, go watch those videos. Now, to be fair, I know I said I was still disappointed by this season, but it was actually better than the first one, cause He-Man actually got a decent amount of screen time. Season 2 starts off with the sorceress being killed, as she sacrifices herself to save He-Man and Teela's actually her daughter. Turns out the sorceress gave up her chance to be with a happy family, so she could protect the entire universe. Wow, making a personal sacrifice of your own happiness to protect others? That's actually a pretty good message. Now, while Season 1 ended with Skeletor finally getting He-Man's sword and becoming the master of the universe, he immediately loses it to Evelyn, who uses her feminine charm to get him to drop his guard. I was right, they really did make Skeletor into an incel. Like many powerful men, he gave up all he had just so he could get boned. And Evelyn becomes this. What the fuck is that? She now has the same stupid haircut that so many women in pop culture have nowadays. Like, seriously, what is the obsession with this haircut? She looks like a character from Baki. So Lynn decides that she's going to destroy the entire universe, and Skeletor, He-Man, and Lynn all team up to stop her. He-Man does get his sword back, but because Lynn has the power of the sorceress, plus she's a master of the universe on top of that, along with her own power she already had, Teela will also have to become the sorceress of Grayskull, being trapped within the castle walls forever, giving up her friends and family, being forced to confront the resentment she used to have for her mother, realizing just how much her mother had to sacrifice to protect the entire universe. But then she decides to not give up anything and still gets the power. In fact, if anything, she got even more power than her mother ever had. So that's the message right there.
Fuck yeah, girl power.
I'm gonna kill myself!
You don't have to make any personal sacrifices, you just have to be great all the time. You're perfect and no one will ever stop you. You want to save the planet from pollution? Don't give up anything. Keep driving that Hummer all you want. you'll actually be doing more for the environment than people who ride their bikes to work. Apparently, no other sorceress has thought about this before, and Tila was the first one to ever do it. He-Man fights against Skeletor, which is just a background fight in this series now, apparently. And Tila single-handedly takes on Evelyn despite all the power she has. Evelyn sees the error of her ways, and she's no longer evil because in current year, women are never evil. In current year, women are only evil because men make them evil. And she's now redeemed despite trying to destroy the entire universe. Oh yeah, by the way, she also fucking nuked heaven and destroyed it. Remember how I talked about the first Master of the Universe being black and he only was in it for 4 minutes before disappearing? Some people complained about that, saying, well, in season 2 he's gonna show up more. And he did! He was in this for 4 seconds before dying. Don't worry, Evelyn, you're still redeemable. You only destroyed fucking heaven! Also, Tila's diverse friend becomes the new man-at-arms and gets the same stupid I'm a social activist haircut. I love that you can actually write out Tila's black friend and nothing in this series would actually change. Her personality isn't interesting, she's just there. She's just there to fill a fucking diversity quota. Like, I guess you could make the argument that a black character not doing anything but at least being there is better than just having no black characters at all. But could you at least make her do something interesting? Give her a story arc or something. Now there's one more thing I need to mention about Tila. Remember when she blew up at He-Man's parents in season 1 after their son died? Remember how she did that just because Adam kept a secret from her, and that secret was that he was He-Man, and he only kept that secret from her for her own protection? She never apologizes for it, and the show treats her like she's in the right for acting this way. Well, in season 2, the king and the queen haven't spoken to each other in years after Adam died, because He-Man's mother knew, and the king got mad at her for keeping a secret from her, and she was mad at him because he was mad at her. But then they get back together, and the show presents the king like he's the one in the wrong for being mad at her, and he's the one who's sorry. What the fuck? He just did exactly what Tila did. This is one of the most hypocritical things I've ever seen in any show ever. I guess it's okay for women to do, but not okay when men do it. Now, if you want to see a strong female character who's pretty badass, check out DuckTales on Disney+. Donald's sister Della, and the mother of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, is actually a really badass, cool, well-written female character. She doesn't have that stupid haircut, and she actually has this thing called character development, because she's not completely perfect right off the bat. And, dare I say it, she's actually pretty funny. But if you want something a bit more adult, check out Arcane on Netflix. It's a show based on the video game League of Legends, and unlike most shows based on a video game, it's actually pretty fucking good. It has black characters that actually have story arcs and personalities, female characters who are pretty badass, funny, but not completely perfect Mary Sue's, multiple different ideologies that get a fair shake, showing their strengths and weaknesses. No one side is a good guy, and they let the audience decide who they want to side with. I can't believe a show that is based off a fucking multiplayer game is actually better than all these other shows. I don't want to spoil too much about the show, you really should go check it out yourself, but it doesn't start getting really good until episode 3. Now, before I end this video off, for my longtime viewers, if you've seen the follow-up to the video about my past, well, I had to take it down for a lot of reasons, one of which it got age restricted, but I am going to be re-uploading it with some new stuff added, so please go check it out when it comes out again. It's my birthday wish that you rewatch it, because watch time is very important to the YouTube algorithm. I'm not asking you guys to do that with all of my videos, just this one because it's so deeply personal to me. But after that video comes out, I think I'm going to be taking a break from YouTube for the rest of the year. And for just a little bit, I might be uploading videos just once every 2 weeks. I want to make higher quality videos, but my boss is also making me work a lot more often now, and I just really need a break.